right, it's official. Esther had her babies. She had 12 puppies, and that is a lot of puppies. And I am happily surprised that all 12 puppies made it. Typically, with such a large litter, you're going to have a puppy that is significantly smaller, maybe underdeveloped, or just kind of struggles to thrive in general. And I did not experience that with any of these puppies. They're all perfect. Now, it doesn't mean that things can't change, but I'm definitely going to be assisting Miss Esther here. Now, what I usually do when I have large litters is I break them up into 2 groups. So I've got 6 puppies that are currently nursing, and then 6 puppies that are in this little basket underneath the heat lamp. And I'll switch them back and forth so they all get the chance to nurse without too much competition between them all. And that really seems to help them. You know, with 12 puppies trying to nurse all at once, you'll typically get a puppy that gets bullied and really isn't able to get enough sustenance. It's okay, that baby's okay. You're fine. That baby's fine. So the evening before she had her puppies, when it came time to feeding the dogs their dinner, she did not eat, and that's a very typical sign that she's in labor. So I brought her into this room and let her spend the night in here, and she did not have any puppies. So I let her back out the next morning, which was yesterday, and then about 3:30, she came up to the door and wanted inside. I immediately brought her back to this room, and 30 minutes later, she had her first puppy. So she knew the drill. She knew this was the spot she wanted to be. Here's the crazy part about this litter. There's 12 puppies, and only 2 of them are boys. Isn't that nuts? Now, I got into a car accident a few weeks ago, so I'm moving a bit slow, and I was a little bit concerned about how this was going to go because of my current limitations. And thankfully, I really didn't have to be too involved, other than just moving puppies from here to there. My husband was able to help me as well. After a car accident, you start to realize you have muscles you didn't know you had. And no, the accident was not my fault. But unfortunately, my farm truck is totaled. Only 2 boys. It's insane. It was just a conveyor belt of female puppies. Hi, Esther. So let's talk about where we're at this point. These puppies are a little over 2 weeks old. I'm going through the process of contacting everyone for their deposits, and that has not been going well for me. It has turned out to be a much more hectic week than I expected. I've got an old cat. He's 17 years old, and he's had some problems, so I've been having to go back and forth to the vet with him. You know, I am a very realistic person when it comes to the life of an animal, but I'm not heartless either. I know he's 17 years old, but I love the crap out of that cat, and so he's not done with life. I'm gonna, give him, some extra chances to improve on his health before I make any drastic calls on his quality of life. But in terms of puppies, so I'll give you an idea of where we started and where we're at. So initially when she gave birth, she did give birth to 12 puppies, and they were all very vibrant, healthy puppies. I was very confident that the puppies were all going to make it, but that did not happen. The thing that can be a hazard for puppies, especially with young mothers who've never had puppies before, is mama's just not knowing exactly how to take care of their babies all the right ways, just because it's their first time. And unfortunately, she laid on 2 puppies and killed them. That's probably one of the biggest hazards of a new mother, is her laying on puppies. And I do my best to keep an eye on them, but I can't sit out here 24/7. So that was an unfortunate thing, very frustrating. Now, there was another puppy that also didn't make it, and what caused that is Miss Esther here ended up with a little bit of mastitis, and once that happened, she just stopped nursing puppies because it was painful for her. And when that happens, it becomes very dangerous for all the puppies. When they're newborns, they can't really regulate their sugar levels and their blood sugar levels. And they can't really regulate their body temperature either. But when blood sugar levels drop, I mean, that can be a death sentence for a puppy. If they miss 1 or 2 meals, I mean, it's dangerous. So, unfortunately, because of that, we did lose a 3rd puppy. So, and it's really sad because they're such beautiful, vibrant puppies. They really are. They're absolutely gorgeous. But her mastitis is cleared up. We got on top of it real quick and got her the medication she needed, and she's doing just fine now. It's just sometimes they'll pick up a bacteria, and with those nipples being open from all this nursing, it can happen. I've had only 1 other case of mastitis in one of my dogs in the past, so it doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. I'll go ahead and mention this now. I always have somebody who asks questions about this or accuses me of being a terrible person, but they'll complain about the fact that these puppies are on concrete. I have these puppies on concrete on purpose, and that's because concrete is easier to keep sanitized. Also, if I were to put a blanket or something soft in here with these puppies, that's a good way to smother a puppy. It's just, this is the best way to do it. And people are always concerned about it being uncomfortable. It is not uncomfortable for these babies, trust me. And also, people are concerned about it being cold. But this heat lamp provides a lot of warmth. And concrete, one of the benefits of concrete is that it holds heat very, very well. So if you touch that concrete with your hand, it's extremely warm. In fact, it kind of acts like a heating pad for these babies. So shouldn't be concerned about them. They're doing wonderful now. Once puppies get past that 2-week mark, I mean, they're extremely mobile. So, even if mama lays down in the wrong way, they can kind of get out from under her pretty well. And, in terms of health, they have a much easier time regulating their body temperature as well as their blood sugar levels. So that's why I wait until 2 weeks of age to begin accepting deposits. You can have a beautiful, healthy litter of puppies right at the beginning, and that can change. Now, I'm kind of slow on communication right now, and it's always just my luck that once it gets to the point where I've got puppies, everything goes wrong and everything becomes more difficult than it ought to be. One of the things being the fact that I got into a car accident. Now, that happened in December, but I am still not normal from it. I'm still attempting to recover, and I'm having to go through more things medically to try to figure out what my body really needs to get into better shape. So that's a big part of it. And then I was in my farm truck when this wreck happened, and my farm truck has been totaled. So also trying to figure that out. That's been difficult. Of course, my old cat, who's been having problems as well. And then on top of it, Verizon had an outage, and then that meant that my phone wasn't working. And my phone didn't work for the entire day that the outage happened, but leading up to it, my phone would intermittently drop from the network. So it was kind of a problem for, I don't know, about 4 or 5 days prior to that that big outage. So I am getting to call people for deposits later than expected. I meant to get that all started earlier in the week, and it just didn't happen. Life happened instead. So don't worry if you haven't heard from me. It's not because I forgot about you. It's because life. Miss Esther here. She loves her babies. Yeah, she loves her babies. She is a good mama. She's just a newbie. You'll do better next time. I believe that. Hi, sweet girl. I'm so excited about these babies. So, when it comes to my dogs, I love them all for different reasons. But in terms of this girl's mind, she is my favorite. She just has the most excellent mind to her. She is so intelligent. And these babies, I am looking forward to seeing their intelligent little brains start to work. And I'll tell you what, so their father is named Rigel. These puppies in the face, I know they're little, but they really look like their father. Rigel's an awesome dog in his own right. I wouldn't say that he's as intelligent as Miss Esther here, but he's a big old sweetheart, and he's just awesome at his job. Just awesome. So I'm very happy to see these puppies begin to perform. I will move them outside probably next week. Normally by now I kick them out onto the porch, but with the cold weather, I'm gonna delay that by a week. You babies are gonna get a bath today. Yeah, 'cause you're messy.